What is up, guys? Welcome back to Will of DDT. My name's Anonymous, and I am joined here by my co-host Mujinator. And today we are bringing you round 3. I think it's actually round 4, but round 1 again got of the Sully's Abode OP7 case tournament. Once again, real quick, for those of you who have not heard of Sully's Abode, it's a really dope shop in Chicagoland. So if you live in the Chicago area, definitely check it out. Super competitive community that has just been like friggin' training ground for a top 5 Nats player, top 5 Nats players, 2 regional winners, Treasure Cup winners. Like, we've just pumping out champions at this place. So the tournaments are super competitive, but community super friendly. It's my favorite place to play One Piece. So yeah, guys, check it out. This is a Black Yellow Luffy versus Lucci matchup here.
Not just any Black Yellow Luffy.
Not just any
this
Luffy.
This is Anonymous' Black Yellow Luffy we're seeing here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. I am the one sitting on the left here. I'm pretty sure I won the die roll, so I did get to go second, which is what Black Yellow Luffy loves to do. We like being on that even curve. Mujinator, I'm curious. I know you've been playing a lot of NL and OP in OP7. How do you feel about the Lucci matchup?
Dude, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I will never say the Lucci matchup will be easy. I don't think any deck has a good time against Lucci.
Sure.
But if there is one that is at the top of that list that has the easiest time with it, it would be Black Yellow Luffy.
100%.
And honestly, I've seen you play on the sim. I've seen you play against other really good Black Lucci players, and honestly, I feel like you have a good, solid strategy on how to take him down. But at the end of the day, if Lucci just draws exactly what they need, any deck is gonna have a tough time. I haven't seen you play this game, so I'm excited to see how it goes. But I'm also excited to hear your retrospective as the game goes on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this was, it is supposed to be a favored matchup for me just because, Black Yellow Luffy is the one deck in the game that can recycle Sabos over and over and over again, and you keep getting the KO immunity, and, your Lucci's plays are shut down. But because of that, a lot of Lucci's have started teching in, Zombie Luffy. They've started teching in the 6-cost Brook, the one that trashes. Both of those trash instead of KOing.
And if you could just pause you right there for some of our viewers that may not be familiar with all of the other cards that came out this set outside the meta ones, can you explain what Zombie Luffy is and what it does?
Yeah, for sure. So Zombie Luffy is basically a 5-cost unit. I think it's a 5-cost 6k, 1k counter. It's not searchable in the Lucci deck, but if you play it, you're going to get a lot of value because when it attacks, you get to trash a 2-cost or less. So Lucci can use this cost reduction to get something down to 2. Then when that Luffy swings, he gets to trash that unit, not KO it, and then you bypass KO immunity that way. So it gets past Sabo.
Pretty
it
solid
gets past
card.
Very solid card for sure. If they see it on curve, it's actually pretty scary.
Yeah. But just going back to the game here, it just looks like
so here Rush Ace
saw a huge turn in Lucci's favor, where you had the Rush Ace out, you're able to get that out off the ability, but just like that, as quickly as it came on the board, it left just as fast, and now he has 3 swingable units on board just like that. Yeah.
No, 100%. I'm in a scary spot. That's the thing about Black Yellow Luffy. Like, people say it's brain dead, and in a sense it is. There's one play you're looking for. Once you get to 10 down, you're looking to slam down Moria and get 2 Sabos out of trash, or, if you can afford it, a Sabo and an Ace or something like that. But there's a lot of turns in the middle where you can just straight up kill yourself because
like
your
I
leader
see here you just decided to swing 8 with leader and just hard played the Sabo.
The Sabo, exactly, because the thing is, this deck is very reliant on its ability to take its own life.
Exactly.
And if you don't see those Flampeys, you don't see those Hioris, you don't see that Makino early game, which is what happened to me here. I just drew a lot of my 5-cost bodies, but none of the little 2k counters to fish my life out.
Yeah.
I just kind of had to awkwardly play through until the 10 dawn turn before I could start doing it.
And I think there's kind of a code that's been cracked when you play against the Black Yellow Luffy. I know a lot of reviewers can kind of see, even though Simon on the right here has a big board, he's not swinging at all. He's not swinging with any of those units. He's just keeping them upright. Yep. That's because he doesn't want to get you down to that 0 life so that you can use your leader ability. What he's looking to do is do big swings all at once, so that way not only will it, destroy your hand, it'll put you in a bad position to try to use your ability next turn.
For sure. Exactly. Exactly. You want to leave Luffy at 2 life until you have a board that can really pressure him to lethal. Because if you even put him at 1 life, that's easy. He's dropping
Yeah,
one
that's a
flambe, he's
Flambe,
taking that life.
that's a Luffy, 5 cost
It-
Luffy, that's anything.
right, exactly. And then he's using leader ability to just stack those
Yeah.
life again.
And then look, he kind of passed turn. He has 3 6K swings and a Moria up, just looking at you menacingly.
It's
And
terrifying.
I know you said Black Yellow Luffy is a brainless deck. If that was the case, if that was the thought at the beginning of the set, I'd believe it. But now there has to come to a point where the Black Yellow Luffy, big brain kind of comes in when they're not attacking you, and you have to find a way to get down to 0 life without just killing yourself in the process.
Exactly. You have to be very calculated about, like, you don't just immediately blitz down to 0. You have to weigh how much Dawn you have left. And then even after that, like, what are you doing? If you put those 2 life back face up, I mean, those life are going to get bottom decked. They're not going to go to your hand.
Just like right here, you did have to hard play that Luffy. You
Mhm.
did use his on play or activate main to take that top life.
Yep.
Again, very scary when you're looking at 4 swings next turn.
Yep. Yeah, so at this point, I'm pretty sure I just played the 5-cost Luffy. I took 1 life to make him an AK unit. And then I am going to hard play a Sabo, I'm pretty sure, here to give the KO immunity again. I think.
And just to make sure, you haven't used any any of the little brothers effect yet, right?
I have not.
Everything you've just been hard playing.
Everything's been hard played so far because that's just the hand I had. So yeah, so basically over here I dropped the Luffy, which is a good engine for the deck because he lets you take your own life every turn and draw a card off it. And then I drop a Sabo so that Luffy can't be KO'd next turn. So now I have 2 blockers, 1 life. So he does have 4 swings on board, but I should be okay here is what I figured. So I actually kind of forget how he responds here. I think he might drop a second Mori or something, but I don't know.
Yeah. Now I wonder. I mean, this is just coming from a outside point of view, me not having seen this game before.
Yeah.
I wonder if he should just start swinging now. I mean, yeah, he has the 2 Sabo blockers.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: if he doesn't win this turn, those Sabo blockers are going to come back next turn. Because, I mean, just some kind of meta. I could see those 2 Sabos kind of at the top of your hand right now. I could see you trying to get them out as soon as possible already. But I think this puts the Lucci player in a very tough position because he has these big swings on board, but it almost feels like he's waste turn if he doesn't attack, But sometimes that's the best play here.
Yeah, so he does exactly what you're recommending here. He checks me with just a 5k swing.
Exactly.
I give him the 1k counter. So yeah, at a certain point you may have to you test them a little bit, you see what they do, but at a certain point you kind of decide, okay, am I going for lethal or do I just stop swinging midway through, So he swings again, I give him a 2k counter, he swings again 6k. At this point I think I should probably block. I don't think I had. The thing about this deck is you actually use a lot of your 2k counters, so you don't have a ton of them because you got to play them. So I'm thinking about what to do for this 6k here. Me and Simon both spent a lot of time thinking on these turns, I'm not going to lie, and then we came down to an awkward situation at the end where it was like overtime and we just had to kind of blitz through it. But so yeah, over here I am processing what
and
to do about this.
These are all just base character swings, no Dawn allocation. He still has, he's at all 10 now, right?
He's at all 10. Yeah.
It says all 10 Dawn up. Looks like you're going to counter out of this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I give him a 2 and a 1. Sometimes you do want to intentionally. There are times where so now he's going 8 with Lucci's, and he has 8 Dawn remaining.
Did you over counter there?
I don't think I over countered. No, I 1Ks, but there are times where I over counter deliberately with this deck just because Isho is a thing, right?
Okay.
So Isho is gonna snipe 2 cards from your hand if you have 6.
True.
So there are so he just does a double Moria right here. So at this point,
so nasty.
So nasty, man.
Play.
I really hate it because even though again it's my favorite matchup, yeah, his Lucci can't kill anything. If they have a Rebecca and Trash, you just developed a 9k body. you developed a Rebecca. You usually they'll play Spandam as well. So now the Spandam searches, the Rebecca fishes a 2k counter out of trash. So now they have a 9k body, a blocker, an extra 2k from Rebecca, and then like a search off of Spandam. So their hand just
So
grew.
nasty.
It's like, they can use Moria defensively. It doesn't need to be an aggressive play or, a removal play. So, Black Yellow Luffy doesn't necessarily just casually go through those Morias. Like, it is tough. So in any
now
case,
I feel like you finally reached your stride. You're at 0 Dawn. That leader effect is now activated. So I definitely want to see what your next step is, just to be able to combat a board like that you're looking at. I mean, are you able to get rid of one? He didn't choose to counter out of that.
yeah.
That's fine.
So at this point, I decided, it was awkward. Like, usually Luffy can kind of just blitz for life, but he has 3 life. I just don't trust my ability to finish the game that quickly. And the more units I leave on board, especially now that he has 2 9k Morias that without any Dawn investment can hit my leader, I started going for that board. So over here, we're attaching 2 Dawn to my leader. I think this is the first time I used the leader effect.
Yeah, this is your first time losing the whole game.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, this is the first time my leader.
0 life just this turn.
Yeah. So we are pitching I think a jetpack Luffy, or I have one in trash. Yeah, man, there's a lot of thinking here, so I apologize. This is sped up, mind you. Like,
just to give us some time to kind of talk about some spice that I heard you talking about. Because of jetpack Luffy, I know some Black Yellow Luffy players are now running the 10 cost Kuzan. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. So I like it.
I feel like that's a really cool combo to run, just because it makes jetpack Luffy being able to hit 9 cost characters.
Exactly, and that's the whole point.
That's Eno. Like, that's all the Yamatos. That's all the Katakuris. That's all the Morias. The only thing it's not hitting isn't tech cost ace, but like at that point, who really cares?
Right. Exactly. And even then, you can run some tech there. I run a Thunderbolt in here. I wanted to fit 2 in, but a Thunderbolt kills a 5 cost, so under 10 cost Kuzan.
And it's trashing a life, getting it closer to your leader ability.
Your leader ability, exactly.
Yeah,
so
like
Thunderbolt's actually pretty solid synergy with this deck. But yeah, here I see
you cooking a little bit, bro. I see you cooking. I respect.
What would you say?
I always respect the cook, man.
Yeah, dude, I love cooking, man. I also run 3 copies of Viola in here. She's a blocker, and she flips your life face down. So if you, at some point in the middle of the game against more aggressive decks, you might find yourself actually in lethal range. So you can just take life, heal 2, and then they're face up. But then you can use Viola to flip them face down and establish a blocker.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So
but looks like you did play a Moria of your own.
Yeah.
Bringing out the, little Sabo, and then playing big Sabo, putting your leader at, I think your leader's at 9k now, correct?
Leader's at 9. So I played a Jetpack Luffy. I KO'd one of his Luccis from my Jetpack Luffy. And then I played the Sabo to make my board immune to KOs. So yeah, we're in a good spot now. Suddenly, like, the tide has really shifted. I mean, he had a really scary board and I had nothing, and now it's like pretty much the opposite way. I mean, he still has his Moria. But we're doing okay now. We did manage to kill one of his Morias because I think his hand just didn't have much counter. He didn't have that many in hand, to be honest. He had about, like, I think 4 in hand or something, and I believe I swung 11k at his Moria, and he just had to take it with my leader. I swung 11k with the Luffy leader, and he just had to eat it. So it's tough. It is what it is sometimes.
I mean, I know you were on the other side of the board, but what is something that the Lucci player can do right now to kind of put any sort of pressure? It's almost impossible for him to swing at your leader, looking at 2 Sabos and a 9k leader. Right. I feel like and he can't even KO anything, so that's useless. Yep. I think the only course of action he has is trying to attack at that rested Luffy.
Yeah. Honestly, going at the rested Luffy is definitely a move. It's the Luffy is an 8k unit. So it's only 1 cheaper to swing at than my 9k leader, but still, I mean, you might as well get rid of characters. Also, again, there are some tech cards like the 6 cost Brook, which can trash cards instead of KOing them.
Gently place the card.
Gently place them in the trash. Yeah, exactly, bro.
It's not KOing it. It is just, shepherding it into the location it needs to go.
For real. So now I think he is swinging 9k at my 8k Luffy, just as you suggested. So I block with the Sabo just because we want to play that Sabo back from the trash anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there are times where I've had a little Viola blocker who's a 0k unit and a 6k Sabo on board, but I'll block with the Sabo because I want to put it back in the trash so that I can get its on play again the following turn.
Yeah.
So yeah, we block.
Ooh, double Rebecca is kind of nasty, but also seems also pretty useless, if I'm going to be honest.
For
I'm
sure.
not really too sure what the double Rebecca can do here.
Yeah.
I feel like that Don might have been better off allocating to confirm, like at least get more cards out of hand, or make you forced to use a block, something.
Sure.
I just feel like 2 Rebecca might be a little just stally at this point.
That's fair.
I don't know. That's just on my point. I feel like playing 2 Rebeccas in a row just feels like it can be better used in another way.
That's fair, but he is recovering. He chose not to play anything off the Rebecca, so he went positive with his hand, or at least neutral while establishing.
Neutral, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm swinging 8k at his Lucci. He gives me a 2k, 1k. Now I'm swinging 9k with my Moria, and none of this has any Dawn invested. I mean, Moria and Luffy being on board are an 8k and a 9k without any of your 10 Dawn used up.
Yeah.
So he takes that, he lets the Lucci die. And then at this point, I believe we're going to jetpack one of the Rebeccas again. Let's see. So yeah, we're trashing a Sabo from hand on leader ability, and then we are putting a Sabo at bottom life and a Luffy at top. Yep. That Luffy, once you have one, it's just such a dope engine, man.
Yeah.
You do have to start killing your own things if you play a double Moria, but I did see the second Moria, so it's fine. I'm gonna, yeah, for sure.
One thing I will say for any deck that's running Moria, even though it's not searchable, you guys always somehow get multiple every single game. I just don't get it,
dude.
I mean, I can't say much as an NL player that always happens to see the Yamatos every single game, but still. That's because we're taking life, we're trashing life and healing every single time. We have some sort of draw. Yeah, but you guys don't really have any draw. You just end up seeing it every single time.
I mean, we actually do have a lot of draw, for what it's worth. We've got Flampe, we've got the Sabos that are constantly cycling. The big Luffy trashes a life to draw a card, and then the Jetpack Luffy trashes itself and KOs something to draw a card. So there's actually a decent amount of draw that you do see it, but there are 100% those games where I just play my Garp Searcher and I end up like bottom decking 2 Morias in the search.
Yeah, I'm real with you. After you started naming out all of the card draw that Black has, it starts making a bit more sense. But I'm still pissed.
I didn't mean to make you feel stupid, but there is a lot of draw in this deck, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, so pretty much Black has all the draw power and no downsides of being Black. So I don't get what the whole point is.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, we're swinging 11k at his Moria here, and he chooses to take it.
I'm surprised he didn't block with the Rebecca.
Especially when you already saw me use my Jetpack Luffy twice to kill things. I mean, the chances of me recycling it are there.
I think it kind of makes sense why he didn't choose to block with Rebecca. He's probably saving that for when you're probably gonna start swinging for life next turn.
Yeah,
I think that's why he wants to keep the Rebecca up, just in case he needs to survive or stall out one more turn. Right. Because realistically, that Moria wasn't gonna help too much next turn, so I can kind of see why he let it go.
That's fair. I mean, I can see the logic as well. For me, it only makes sense though if you have a 5-cost Sabo in hand, because and you make the Rebecca immune to KOs, then I can't pop. If you don't have the Sabo in hand, I'm gonna pop that thing pretty easily with the Jetpack Luffy. So so yeah, I gotta assume he probably had the Sabo in hand or was hoping that it would come. And at this point,
at this point, you just gotta start swinging. There's not really too much else you can do here, I believe. And you don't have to worry about any sort of counterattack next turn because he has no swingable characters on board. So it's pretty. You can also swing with those Sabos too if you wanted to.
Right. So he just hard plays. Yeah, no, 100%. You do swing with the Sabos, especially if you're doing a Moria play because you want to trash the Sabos you just swung with and then get them back in trash.
So I think he just hard plays. And he couldn't really target anything, right?
Exactly, yeah, because I had Sabo effect active.
On board. No, I think that's fair. He just needs to get a big unit on board just to counterattack.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Black Yellow Luffy does have the problem of sometimes you see the wrong big brothers, the wrong little brothers, and it just, it feels a little clunky. But I will be honest, I saw everything I needed this game. I saw multiple
that
Sabos.
feels good. That always feels good.
For sure. I saw multiple Sabos, multiple Morias. I mean, in fact, on this play here, we start going for game, but, I figured like the safer thing to do, since I do have it, we're about to see right here. We go for another 9k at life. He's either going to take this or block it. I think at this point we probably start blocking, but it's up to you, I guess.
Let's see what Simon decides to do here.
He does block it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yep, that's fair. And then I swing I think I'm going to swing 6k with one of my Sabos. Just because I intend to trash it pretty soon here, because...
Let me guess.
You want to guess what card I'm about to play?
You know what? I'm going to make it be surprised. I'm just going to close my eyes and open my eyes.
Okay, close your eyes.
Alright, tell me when to open it.
Okay. I'm putting 2 in life, and I'm about to play a card.
Wait. How much Dawn do you have?
I have 8 Dawn left.
I'm
slamming it down, and it's a Moria.
Oh wow, it's a Moria. I did not see that coming.
So at this point, I wanted attackers, so I revived a little Luffy and a Sabo. So I did actually trash one of my Morias, which is kind of goofy, I know. But at the end of the day, like, Luffy's an 8k attacker, Moria's a 9k attacker. The difference isn't that huge. And I want to get my leader up to 9k, so I just needed to trash something. I'm
not sure if you just didn't have it in hand. Is there a reason why Ace wouldn't have been a better option here, or is it because you didn't have one?
I don't think I saw the little Ace all game. I saw the big Ace and I hard played it earlier. I don't think I saw the little one all game. If I did see the little one, I'm pretty sure I would have played it there. Because I need the little Ace. In the Moria combo, I got to revive little Ace, who then brings big Ace.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure if you countered using the little Ace or not. I just wasn't sure if it was in trash. So I was just asking if you had a reason for that.
I only run 2. Ace is the least.
Really?
Ace is the one brother with. Yeah. Unfortunately, this deck is actually pretty tight. There's not a whole lot of room in this list to just put everything. So Ace goes down to 2 because he's the least important, but he is still really dope. So he's swinging 11k.
11, yep. Forcing that block out of your hand.
For sure. And he plays another Moria, bringing a Rebecca back, playing a Spandam, and he gets no counter. Yeah, so he grabs a Stussy, which is not what he wanted, because that's no counter and it can't KO anything.
Yeah.
And he is fishing a Caulifla out of the trash with the Rebecca effect. So Moria is the most Yu-Gi-Oh type card in this game.
Oh, definitely.
So many effects to resolve if you. So now at this point we were on the clock, bro. I started my turn with like 11 seconds.
Yeah,
we're in overtime.
As that Dawn came out, you swung.
I went 9k, and it was dumb because I should have put 2 on my leader and regen 2 life, because then tiebreakers would have won me. But then I swing 11k here, and Simon was debating what to do, and time ran out basically. So time ran out. It was a little awkward, like a judge did come through and basically say hey, he swung.
I mean, even if time ran out, the game just doesn't stop. You have to resolve the last play, right?
Right.
It's in the middle of an attack. It doesn't just stop.
Exactly. Had I not declared the attack, it's a different matter. But I did declare the attack. So the judge came over and said, and so Simon was basically like, okay, do I win because I still have 1 life? And the judge was like, no, he did swing. If you don't have the counter, you got to take the life. So this is just us discussing here. But yeah, basically, I mean, I don't know that anything too spicy or exciting happened in this game from my end to talk about. I mean, I just Moria'd into Moria, kept recycling my Sabos, and he did not have any non-KO removal to handle the repeat Sabos. It just
he didn't see any of his Brooks. I know Brook is one of those spice tech cards that are in for mainly for the mirror matchup, for anything that can't be KO'd against the Sabos. I didn't see any of those pop up. I'm not sure if he runs it in his deck, but I definitely feel like if he saw more of those, the game might have been looking a bit different at this point.
Oh yeah.
But I definitely think him not seeing that definitely wasn't in your favor there.
100%. I lost to a Lucci later this day because he brooked my only Moria. I only saw 1 Moria that game, and he he brooked it right into the trash, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
actually feels terrible. So like I just ran out of gas after that. But yeah, over here I saw 3 Morias, I saw all 4 Sabos. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
you pretty much saw exactly what you needed for this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, this is the reason Black Luffy counters Lucci. I mean, this is how most people expect these games to go. But again, as someone who lost to a Lucci later in in this tournament, I will say, watch out for that zombie Luffy and watch out for that Brook. You're not
Yeah.
completely safe, even when you think you are. So this is us counting our deck because it came down to tiebreaker. Simon took his last life, and I had, I think, 18 cards left in deck, and he had like 13 cards. So I won just because my deck size was bigger. But I mean, I had more attacks coming that turn. Had it not come to time, I mean, that was going to be a win anyway.
Yeah, as
So
because technicality, had there been, like a minute, 2 minutes longer, you probably still would have won that game with just because of how many swings you had on the board,
yeah, definitely. But yeah, guys, I mean, it was fun to watch. It was fun to kind of see our own game. We might have another Will of DDT member playing at the top tables later on in this tournament. So
Sneak
look
peek,
out for
sneak
that.
peek.
Sneak peek, yeah. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed. Again, make sure to check out Sully's Abode. We'll leave a link in the description to their shop. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.